The sun climbed fast and merciless over the Afghan mountains, bleaching the land in harsh white glare. Dust rode the wind, coating skin and gear alike, settling into every crease like ground glass. Below, on the firing range, Navy SEALs ran their drills boots scraping gravel, bodies colliding in rough laughter. The sharp, metallic snap of magazines locking into place. They moved with the confidence of men who believed themselves. Untouchable gods in sand-colored fatigues, pushing limits, daring one another as heat shimmered above the ground. Among them walked a lone woman in a worn army uniform. She carried no rifle. Instead, a headset rested against her shoulder, its antenna rising from the pack strapped tight across her back. Sergeant Emma Lawson, Communications NCO, 33 years old. Her eyes were calm, distant, more attuned to wind and terrain than to faces. She moved through the formation quietly, notes tucked in one hand, signal monitor glowing on her chest. Someone shouted from the line, "Hey ma'am, does that antenna come with a trigger?" Laughter followed. Sharp, deliberate, designed to test for cracks. Emma smiled faintly, glanced at her signal meter, and kept walking. Far downrange, a steel target stood alone, forgotten after the morning's sniper evaluation. A sudden gust swept the valley. A single rifle crack split the air. The steel plate jerked, then toppled. A clean hole punched dead center. Silence rolled across the range. "Commander." Jake Viper Reeves lifted his head from the spotting scope. "Who took that shot?" he barked. No answer came. High on the ridge, Emma lowered her headset. Her voice was steady, almost bored. "Signals are clear, sir." Before anyone could react, Major Colin Pierce strode forward, irritation written across his face. "Lawson, leave the toys to the shooters. Runnicum's check now." "Yes, sir." "Oh." Her tone revealed nothing, but the echo of the shot lingered behind her, a ghost she'd tried hard to bury. Before we continue, make sure you subscribe to Military and Veteran Stories so you never miss these true accounts of courage. And tell us in the comments, where are you watching from today? 2 months earlier, at Fort Benning, Emma stood on a different range beneath a softer sky. Targets at 500 meters dropped in perfect cadence, one every 5 seconds. The instructor whistled low. 4440, Sergeant. Ever think about sniper school? She had. 3 times and 3 times. Her requests came back stamped with the same verdict. Denied. Major Pierce had explained it once over coffee. "You're too valuable in communications, Lawson. We need your brain, not your trigger finger." She nodded, professional, composed. Later that night, she wrote in her notebook, "If they won't let me fight beside them, I'll make sure none of them die on my watch." Beside the page sat a faded photograph of her father, Marine sniper killed in Iraq when she was 16. He'd taught her to read the wind before feeling it, to sense distance before measuring it. Everything else she learned from the silence he left behind. Deployment orders came quickly. Afghanistan, forward, operating base Falcon's Edge. She arrived with the first helicopter. Dust grinding between her teeth, rotors screaming overhead, her resolve already burning. Falcon's Edge was wedged between jagged ridgelines and dry riverbeds, an outpost that looked temporary but had already claimed lives. The SEAL detachment was there for joint reconnaissance. Emma was there to keep the signals alive when she reported in. Major Pierce barely glanced up from his tablet. "You'll oversee Ridge 9 relay. 2 clicks north. Solo post. Keep our frequencies clean." "Yes, sir." She studied the map. Ridge 9 wasn't just a signal node. It was commanding high ground over Sharon Valley. Prime overwatch. Command saw a tower. She saw everything else. Outside, Sergeant Darnell Hazan, old logistics buddy, helped load her kit. He smirked. "So, queen of the static now?" She smiled. "Static tells the truth before people do." He shook his head. "Still talking like your dad. Maybe he was right more than I wanted to admit." They clasped forearms and parted. That night, while cards slapped tables under generator light, Emma received a quiet summons to a storage tent near the perimeter. Inside stood Master Sergeant Owen Dre Gray. Solid eyes heavy with too many wars, you Lawson. He asked. Yes, sir. I knew your father. Good man. Hell of a shot. Her posture stiffened. You served together? Marines. 3, call sign Ghost Glass. He studied her closely. Said his daughter could outshoot him by 12. She said nothing. Drake opened a crate. Inside, an M2010 sniper rifle gleamed beneath lantern light. One word was etched into the metal. Balance. He slid it toward her. Command thinks here comes. I know better. Ridge 9 listens to more than airwaves. When what starts? She asked. The pattern, he replied quietly. You'll see it. Trust your eyes, not their orders. When she looked up, he was gone. Morning brought heat and the mission brief. Operation Echo Joint. SEAL Army patrol into Shirin Valley to confirm insurgent supply routes. Emma's role? Maintain live comes from Ridge 9. Observe. Report. Stay invisible. On the flight out, Reeves offered a half smile. Just keep our radios breathing, Sergeant. Yes, sir. She didn't mention she'd already memorized the terrain errors on his map by noon. Ridge 9 was Hearse-Rock wind and silence. Her world narrowed to a relay console, a small tent, and 1,000 yards of empty valley. Hours passed. Routine checks. Weather logs. Frequency sweeps. Then something wrong crept through the static. Encrypted bursts. Old Soviet patterns. She traced them manual as signals. Bouncing between valley floor and ridgeline caves. Possible hostile monitoring, she reported. Pierce dismissed it without looking up. Local chatter. Stay focused. That night, lights flashed across the valley. Deliberate, coded. She logged it anyway. At dawn, Echo Patrol moved. Ridge 9 comes check. Read you 5 by 5, Emma replied. Wind west at 8 knots. Visibility clear, and silence. Hours later, static surged. Reeves' voice cut through gunfire. Contact multiple positions. The feed died. Emma adjusted gain. Switched bands, forced signal through distortion, taking heavy fire. She caught. She relayed coordinates. Pierce snapped back. Interference. Do not interpret field transmissions. Stay in your lane. The channel went dead. She turned to the scope below. Fighters moved with discipline. Muzzle flashes curved along the ridge of textbook. Kill zone. Her hands went to the rifle case. Trust your eyes. She broke the seal. Assembled the weapon. Wind. 8 miles per hour. Range. 1,100 meters. Through the scope, a PKM team set up behind cover. Forgive me, sir, she whispered. The rifle spoke. One gunner dropped. The second fell moments later. Reeves' voice crackled. Who the hell took that shot? Emma chambered another round and kept scanning. When the dust cleared, Co-Patrol withdrew, 2 wounded, all alive. Pierce's voice returned. Lawson report. Come stable, sir. That evening she returned to base. Whispers followed her. Inside the command tent, Pierce glared. You fired without authorization? I engaged hostile forces threatening U.S. personnel. You're not a sniper. Then maybe the wind was. Reeves struggled not to smile. Sir, those shots saved 6 men. Pierce snapped back, then froze as Drake's voice came from the doorway. Maybe that is the point, Major. Everyone turned. Asterisk. He stepped inside at a measured pace. I gave her the rifle, Drake said evenly, because I knew command would never recognize what she could do. Pierce's jaw hardened. So you violated protocol as well. Drake didn't blink. I've broken worse rules to keep good soldiers breathing. Pierce opened his mouth, thought better of it, and finally snapped, Get out. Both of you, he complied. Outside, beneath a sky bleeding from blue into black. Reeves caught up to Emma. Next time, he said dryly. Give me a warning before you decide to save my life. She offered the smallest hint of a smile. Next time, don't need saving. The following week passed quietly. Officially, nothing had occurred. Unofficially, Ridge 9 became legend. Patrols whispered about a ghost on the ridge, an unseen guardian who could read the wind itself. Emma kept her head down. She checked frequencies, logged data, and did her job. But something inside her had shifted. She wasn't just maintaining the signal anymore. She was the signal. Days blended together. Ridge 9 became her universe rock, wind, and patience. Every morning she logged weather. Every night she studied the valley's rhythm. She learned every shadow, every trail, every movement that didn't belong. Command still dismissed her. To Major Pierce, she was just a technician who'd gotten lucky to the SEALs. She was something else entirely. Reeves began routing patrol briefings through her console. He never said it outright, but the respect showed in the pauses and the way he always asked, "What do you see, Lawson?" "Patterns, sir," she'd reply quietly. "Always patterns."